Is this thing on? Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. And welcome. These Flash movie leaks are insane. Now, I found a video by someone listing them all out. And as we go along, because I'll play the audio of this video, and as we go along, I will pause it and explain everything to you or give you my take. So we don't kind of take all this out of context. Because as far as I'm concerned, this test audiences have seen this movie, first of all, out of context. The information we are getting is out of context. And for me, I'll say straight off the bat, they are hiding Superman. It's so blatantly obvious. I believe WB are involved in these leaks. You see, they're in a bit of a battle. They've been working on this new DCEU multiverse strategy for a long time. Now, Discovery are coming. They could say to them, you're not doing this. So by leaking all this out, they can create an aftershock of buzz from us, the fans, which would make it impossible and near enough impossible for Discovery to say, no, we're cancelling this multiverse strategy. But anything's possible when new leadership is coming in. So this YouTube channel, because I want to give him a bit of a buzz, a bit of a plug, Oh My Diaz 23. So go and give the lad a follow. He's near to 1K, so let's help smaller channels out. So let's give this a listen, and as I say, as we go ahead, I will step by step to try and explain it. And there may be times where you can't understand what he's saying. If I can understand what he's saying, I'll try and clarify what he's saying. So let's go.
These might be from the test screening, so maybe it might not be the final product. But let's see, main plot elements. There's 100% a tease of Reverse Flash when Barry's mom is killed. A yellow figure smiles at Barry and lunges at him. Barry escapes before the yellow figure can get to him. No actor or voice, it's pretty hard to make the figure out because it's just standing in the dark and you can only see his yellow arms and red eyes. The emotional part...
Right, so I think we can clarify that we do see a moment in the film of Reverse Flash killing Barry's mother. Now, I don't think we see this scene blatantly, but, you know, a yellow arm, red eyes, I think we can say that's Reverse Flash for sure. So Reverse Flash does play a part in this movie, as I predicted earlier on today's DCEU Daily.
Good. Ezra has amazing chemistry with the woman who plays Barry's mom, and I heard people start crying when Barry realized he couldn't save her. It's 100 times better than the one in the CW.
Right, so we hear that Ezra Miller has a great screen chemistry with his mother, who's played by something Verdi, I think, very good actress, of theatrical actress as well. So great casting there by Andy Muschietti. So he's got really, really good screen chemistry. People in the test screenings actually crying. That's fantastic.
Flash is not really the villain of the film. It's the Future Flash wearing Black Flash suit. They kind of merged the two characters. It's essentially Future Flash just wearing Black Flash's suit.
Right, let's clarify this. Black Flash isn't the main villain of this film. It's actually Future Flash. So someone was talking to me on the premiere of my DCEU Daily today, talking about Black Flash, because that's been leaked and rumoured all along. It's actually, as he says, Future Flash in the Black Flash costume. That's interesting. But again, we need clarity, and the only clarity is going to be when we actually see the movie. So we're getting Future Flash instead of Black Flash. What do you think about that?
3 Barrys in the film. In the Barry we see in the trailer, long hair, gets brutally killed by evil Barry, Future Flash, who is also him from the future. The film's Future Flash is an amalgam of the comics versions of Future Flash and Black Flash. The Future Flash is actually just a second Barry, long hair, but from the future. His motivation is that when DCU Barry came to his universe, he ruined everything and destroyed his world.
So it looks like the Barry we saw in the promo at DC Fandom 2021 last year is Future Flash. And just in case you didn't understand what the lad was saying, basically, he hates our Barry Allen for doing Flashpoint, for destroying his world, and he wants to kill our Barry.
Has gotten obsessed into saving his world and keeps trying to reverse time from it getting destroyed, but it fails. So he decided to go after the person who caused this, our Barry. Future.
Again, to clarify, the Future Flash keeps on going backwards in time, trying to save his world, but whatever he does isn't working. So all he's got is his hatred for our Barry Allen.
Flash spent 10 years trying to reverse time and figure out a safe way to stop Zod from destroying his world. Barry was about to go back in time, but someone, Future Barry, tried to kill him and accidentally knocked him out of Speed Force into an alternate universe, Keaton's world. Sasha Kai and Supergirl is one of the best parts of the film.
So somehow, Future Flash, it sounds like this anyway, and you may have heard something different, but it sounds like that Future Flash knocks our Barry into Keaton's world. So there's going to be quite a few kind of versions of these multiverses in this film. So that sounds like Future Flash, and I'm not sure, I have to go through it again and we'll talk about it later when I'm live, but it looks like Future Flash knocks our Barry into Keaton's world. Very interesting.
Movie, with some calling it the best performance in the movie. Barry won our Barry.
Right, just to clarify that, because I think we both missed that. Test audiences are saying that Sasha Calle's Supergirl, Kara Zor-El, is one of the best things about the movie, which is really good news.
He got stuck in Keaton's world and finds Barry tools also had Flash powers, and they both get Keaton, Batman, and Supergirl to fight a threat, Zod. They lose and Barry 1 and 2 trying to reverse time to save the universe, but it fails. Barry 1 gives up, but Barry 2 doesn't. That's when Future Flash.
So, Flash 2, whoever that is, doesn't get up from, I think, when they're battling Zod. Just to clarify that as well.
Barry 2 appears, revealing he tried to repeat time multiple times, but it failed. So instead of repeating time to stop the incident, he enters the Speed Force to try and kill the person who caused this in the first place, Barry 1.
Right, so he gets in the Speed Force, the Future Flash, to try and destroy our Barry. So Future Flash is definitely the villain of this movie. Or maybe some people may kind of see another context here, that maybe our Barry's kind of the villain. He's not really, but he's caused all of this by going back in time to save his mother.
Ezra's Barry's portrayed in the film has him act more like a Wally Bart hybrid than he does Barry in some scenes. Apart from some scenes, Ezra acts like a bit like comic Barry. He gets the heart and the essence of the character right, and only acts like a Wally Bart hybrid in some scenes, mostly the humor parts, like freaking out like a fangirl when he sees a Batmobile. Trust me when I say this, you're gonna love Ezra as Barry more than you did in both Justice League movies. Zod successfully kills Keaton's Batman and Superman.
Right, so you've heard a little bit of that as well. So what test audiences are also saying here, that Ezra's Barry Allen in the Flash movie is more like the comic book Barry, sometimes even echoing Wally West with his excitement as he freaks out about Keaton's Batmobile. But this apparently is a much better version of Barry Allen than we've seen in both Justice League and the Snyder Cut. Andy Muschietti and Christina Hodgson making sure he's more like the comic book version. This is very good news for Flash fans, because it's not all about, I love the Snyderverse, but it's not all about the Snyderverse. This is a Flash movie. People saying this isn't really a Flash movie and it's an excuse for cameos. In fact, this proves that this is focusing on the Flash. This is very good news. Also, something that has been confirmed in this video, and I'm sure he'll elaborate on it a little bit more, is in fact that Zod breaks Sasha Calle's Supergirl's neck in this scene. You remember how Cavill's Superman breaks his neck? Well, this time, in this fight, in this Flashpoint universe, Zod kills Keaton's Batman in the Flashpoint universe and Sasha Calle's Supergirl by breaking her neck.
Supergirl gets her neck snapped. It's actually pretty fucking brutal. Worse than when Superman snapped Zod's. Zod kills Cavill, Cavill Superman as a baby, killing Super Baby League is 100% true. Michael Chan.
So again, context is a very big thing. It seems that the baby Kal-El is killed in this universe, not in Earth 1, but in this new version that Barry's created by going back in time to save his mum. I think that's important to clarify that.
Reprises his role as Zod. Cage is also not Superman in Cage's world. It's Cavill. You know, before he got killed as a baby by Zod. Future Flash.
So before he was killed as a baby by Zod, Henry Cavill was Superman, but he was killed as a baby, so that doesn't make sense. Let me clarify this. In Earth 1, at the beginning of the film, Henry Cavill is Superman. That's what he's trying to say. Then Barry changes the timeline, right, by saving his mum, going back to the past and saving her, which creates this new world where General Zod kills the baby Kal-El. So I definitely think they're hiding Superman in the test screenings. I think he's definitely at the beginning of the movie, and I'll speak about the end of the movie after we finish this video.
Flash have a massive race, but because Future Flash wants to kill Barry, Barry doesn't want to die.
I'm sorry if I keep stopping it, but it's very important I explain everything. So I understand it and you understand it. So what he says there is that Future Flash and Barry Allen have a race, but Barry doesn't want to die because he's actually worked out that Future Flash wants to kill him.
They do that. They travel into the multiverse. We see a shitload of different universes. Patton's Batman universe, Linda Carter, Wonder Woman, Adam West Batman, Grant Gustin Flash, etc. Superman existence is left somewhat ambiguous.
Right. So this is interesting. We see a lot of worlds. We see a lot of Earths. We see Arrowverse. We see Grant Gustin's. We see Grant Gustin as the Flash. We see a lot of different things. I think he said Linda Carter's Wonder Woman. We see a lot of different versions of these DC characters, but they will be very quick cameos, it sounds like. By the way, before that, he actually said, we missed it, he said Cavill's existence in Earth 1 is kind of left ambiguous. We'll get to it.
Superman never killed them. I'm pretty sure Superman didn't kill Faora though. Any film or TV show, including Peacemaker, released between Man of Steel and Shazam 2 are set in the old timeline. Shazam?
Right. Anything, right, this is important to explain, right, anything released from Man of Steel to Peacemaker is set in the old timeline. Anything from the Flash movie, so what does that mean then? Does that mean that Black Adam and all the other movies from Black Adam are set in a new timeline? Interesting, because if things are set in the old timeline, what does that mean for their future? Interesting.
Two is set in the old timeline. Everything after the Flash is set in the new timeline. Green Lantern, Zatanna, Batgirl, etc. Iris is already.
So basically, anything from the Flash and after the Flash is set in a new timeline, which means anything we see now. This is interesting. So anything we see now, Black Adam, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, all of that are set in the old timeline, and Shazam. But anything from after the Flash is set in a new timeline, like the Flash TV series on HBO Max and all of that. Very interesting and quite exciting.
A cameo in this film, she only appears at the end when Barry's father is released from prison. WB plans to use.
Right. Basically, that's talking about, what's her bloody name? I've forgotten her bloody name. Oh, basically, Iris West. That's it. Kiersey Clemons as Iris West. That's her. I got there in the end. They only saw her in the test screenings at the end of the movie once Barry Allen's father, Henry, is released near the end of the movie. Something I actually predicted in today's Flash movie predictions on today's DCEU Daily. Go and check it out after you finish watching this.
Keaton as a temporary replacement for DCU Batman in After Crisis, which they are leading up to. Pattinson will be the new DCU Batman. Person said the blood.
Right, this is curious. So Keaton is temporarily the next Batman until we get Crisis, and then Robert Pattinson becomes the new DCEU Batman. Of course, this sounds like bullshit, because how would they even know this? So something like that, I don't believe for a minute, because Matt Reeves isn't going to allow that. But the problem is, how would you even know that at this point? But it's interesting. If you could have Pattinson as the main Batman, not necessarily the new DCEU Batman, but the main Batman, that would be really cool.
Who got casted in The Flash, so Rose Monica Jackson could be playing either a gender mirror master or Killer Frost, but that's some guessing because they generally don't know. Don't expect any wild cameos. Keep expectations low. I feel like
right. Don't expect any wild cameos. Keep expectations low. Right, you've seen a test screening. They're not going to show you all their fucking cameos, because Barbara Machete told us at DC Fandom 2020, there's so many, DC cameos of characters in this movie. We know that for a fact, but if you thought you were going to go to the test screening and see everything they were going to show you, you'd be wrong.
This film will only be loved by general audiences, but hardcore Flash fans as well. The Flash feels more like a classic fiction adventure in the vein of stories like Alice in Wonderland and The Wizard of Oz than a typical superhero movie. Batfleck doesn't die.
Right, this is very interesting. Both mainstream audiences and die-hard Flash fans will love this movie. Now, that's a big thing to say, but it's huge, and it feels like The Wizard of Oz and Alice in Wonderland rather than a superhero movie. This is something I've been waiting for a long time. I've been watching the Chronicles of Narnia, and we're losing this in movies, this fantasy element. This, my friends, is very good news. This film could be a huge win for the DC live-action universe.
Is it part of the new timeline? No reference to Wally whatsoever from what
Right. So basically, Batfleck isn't killed, but he's not part of the new timeline. So he's still alive. We know where he is, probably in Snyder's Pocket universe, and we know something is coming at the end of the movie with Batfleck anyway. But he's not part of the main timeline anymore, which we expected anyway.
Pretty brief reverse Flash cameo. Only hardcore DC fans will notice him. Mainstream audiences gonna be confused as fuck.
Right, so there is a reverse Flash cameo. I don't know if they're talking about what he talked about on the top of the video that he said about reverse Flash, yellow arm, red eyes, or maybe there's a bigger cameo, but if you don't know, you don't know. Basically, if you don't know Flash and you don't read the comics, you don't know who reverse Flash is, you wouldn't get it. But really, the reverse Flash cameo really is for comic book fans anyway. So that's okay. And they can refine these things because that's what a test screening is all about, to get people's feedback so they can see what they need to correct. So it's fine. What's the classic saying us directors say? We'll fix it in post.
Post-credit scenes, order subject to change. Aside from Affleck Crisis, post-credits tease the other one from what I heard, mid-credits, is that the Flash will tell Aquaman that he wonders if a Superman exists here too. Aquaman looks at him confused. Then it proceeds to show Supergirl smiling at Barry, and he smiles back, and it shows him looking over what's next to her. His face is full of shock, and the movie ends. Maybe a camel nod.
Right, this is very, very interesting. So we get two post-credit scenes. We get Batfleck teasing Crisis on Infinite Earths or Final Crisis, or both, or could he be teasing the Nightmare Future from Snyder? It could be any of those things, so we get that. But then we get another post-credit scene of the Flash talking to Aquaman and asking if Superman exists in this world. This is what Andy Muschietti and Barbara were talking about. Nothing is forgotten and everything is remembered. So they remember Superman, but they don't know if he still exists in this world. Now, I need to explain this to you. They look over at Supergirl, Sasha Calle's Supergirl, because she exists in this brand new Earth 1 reality. She did get her neck snapped in the Flashpoint universe, but now she's actually a reality in this brand new Earth 1. So both Aquaman and Barry Allen, the Flash, look at Sasha Calle's Supergirl, and they look at the person next to her in shock. So This is something I think they're going to expand on in post. And I think they will reveal Superman there, but it's going to be a shock because maybe it's not Henry Cavill's Superman. This could actually be a thing. This actually may not be a bad thing either, because maybe he's over there in the Snyderverse Pocket Universe and there's a new Superman standing next to Kara Zor-El. So basically, they're not revealing who Superman's going to be in this movie. So there is going to be a Superman revealed in that post-credit scene, but it won't necessarily be Henry Cavill's Superman. Let me clarify this again, so we're all sure on this. 2 post-credit scenes, Batfleck warning about Crisis, and Barry Allen and Aquaman talking about if Superman exists in this new timeline. They look at Kara, then they look shocked as they look at the space next to Kara, as the camera's about to pan over there, and they look shocked. I think it's Superman, and I think Superman will be put in there in post, or it's a big cliffhanger. As I say, a test screening isn't going to reveal the whole movie to you, but this is really exciting to me.
But I don't know. Regarding Ezra's future, that's credible. If a Flash recast were to happen, Sam Claflin is someone who can expect to be the new Barry Allen / Flash. So there's 2 teases to Superman in the Flash movie about Cavill, maybe? I don't know. I'm confused. Some of this, I can't wait to see if this is true about Supergirl getting her next snap. If it's in a brutal way. Not like how Henry Cavill did in The Man of Steel to Zod. Keaton dying. So obviously, Flash is going to reverse time and make sure that shit doesn't happen in the movie, but I want to see how that's done. I want to see how Affleck. The thing about it is, I don't think Affleck is going to be. I think he's just going to be in the main continuity in the beginning, obviously, with his car chase scene, wherever else he has, and that's it. Once Barry goes back to his original timeline, he'll just not be there. They probably won't even explain it at all either. Like they're doing with Cavill. So Grant Gustin is going to be. So it's basically how the Flash has that time travel scene, and they show the different Earths in the area and shit like that. So basically, be like a DCEU big budget version of that. The Zod killing Clark as a baby, I guess, is true. So Barry, it's not reverse. It's not Black Flash in the comics. It's the Barry with the long hair. So first of all, I guess Barry with the long hair is a future Barry. It's not a past Barry. And the third Barry, which is the Black Flash, is the second Barry, but older and evil, I guess. So it's not a separate guy at all. The Black Flash. Reverse Flash being teased. It makes sense because obviously.
Right. They don't seem very sure about Black Flash and Future Flash. I'm going to assume, because there's 3 versions, the 2 versions combined together to make Black Flash. But originally, he may be Future Flash, and I don't know who the other older guy is. But obviously, they're going to converge together and become maybe Black Flash. That's all I can assume here. It's not clearly explained, and I apologise about that. But I do think we've got loads of great information about these leaks.
We got that right. It just leaked. That has to hit the Reverse Flash. Obviously, he's the one that did that shit anyway. So it's wrong. So I can't wait to see that aspect. I think this movie is going to be interesting to see. I don't know exactly how it's going to be. It sounds good in my part, what I'm reading, but I'm not sure about anything else. But I think these leaks can be. Reddit has done a lot for spilling whole movies. Trust me, they did it time after time again. It's just for you as fans to decide what you want to see. But that's pretty much it. I'm not going to.
Right, so that's the video. So thank you, Oh My Diaz. Thank you for that. Please go and follow Oh My Diaz. There was only one way to do this video, and this was to play the audio of this guy's video, because I can't think of any other way of doing this, because otherwise I was just going to forget important things. So we learned a lot of interesting things. There seems to be a bone of contention. Who's the main villain? If it's Future Flash and Black Flash. As I say, there's 3 versions of the Flash in this movie. I think 2 of these versions, Future Flash and the other one he was talking about, not sure who that is, combined together to make Black Flash. So probably Black Flash is in this when he is combined. We also know that Future Flash and our Barry have a race, which is going to be awesome to see visually. And then Barry works out that he's trying to kill him, and he stops. We know that Kara and Keaton's Batman are killed by Zod and Feora, but they will be brought back in the new timeline. Keaton's Batman temporarily part of a new timeline until they replace him after Crisis. So we get these post-credit scenes. Now it's interesting because he seemed to get confused there as well. It looks like we get the Batfleck tease about Crisis, and then we get Aquaman and the Flash talking about asking if Superman actually exists in this world. So what we know now is they don't clarify whether he exists or not in this test screening. They look over to what's next to Sasha Calle's Supergirl, Kara Zor-El, and they look surprised. So, probably a brand new version of Superman. The question is, will they reveal in that moment who's playing Superman? Because I don't think it's Henry Cavill. Is it Brandon Routh? Is it Tyler Hoechlin? We don't know. I want you to let me know what you think about all these revelations. Remember, these are just test screenings. They're getting feedback from audiences. But it's exciting to hear that people were crying because of the relationship between Barry and his mother. That's good. That this is a film the guy said this is a film that feels more like The Wizard of Oz and Alice in Wonderland rather than a normal, everyday, box standard superhero movie. We need this. We need the wonder and wizardry, and the excitement and fantasy and escapism put back into movies. This is a very good thing. And also, they said this is a movie that's going to please mainstream audiences, but it also doesn't betray, hardcore Flash comic book fans. It will please them too. Barry's kind of feels like the comic book Barry, and so that's very exciting as well. So wow, can't wait for this film. The wait for this film is going to be very long and arduous, but the more I hear about this film, the more excited I get. This could be the film that takes the DC live action universe to the level we wanted Man of Steel to do back in 2013. Because the Flash movie is Man of Steel. This is going to be the beginning of the new normal. Anything from Flash onwards is part of the new timeline. And anything that's released before the Flash is part of the old timeline. So this asks a lot of questions. So is Shazam part of the new timeline? It's kind of been hinted so. Is Batgirl part of this new timeline? We just don't know because she's pre the Flash movie, or is she pre the Flash movie? Will Batgirl be released next year or after the Flash movie next Christmas? Because the movie, I think, is set during Christmas. More questions yet again than answers, but what we found out here is very exciting. This has been the Movies TV Mad, and whatever we want to call it. I'm Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you never miss this perfection. And I'm babbling now because I'm so hyped and excited. So until we see each other again, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.